Welcome back. It's the Kovacs report. It's time for a real big book, big in pages and big in scope. Imperial 2 by Jonathan Hickman and Federico Vicentini. Now, issue 1 absolutely hooked me in. I'm super into this. I've never been a big fan of the Marvel Cosmic U, but Imperial 1 has made me a fan. So I'm super excited to dive into issue 2, which is what we're going to do right now, page by page. I'm going to give you my thoughts. There will be spoilers. As always, please read the book first if you don't want it spoiled. Like the video if you like the video, and hit subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd really appreciate it. Now, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot going on. Now, if you're not into the Marvel Cosmic U, it can be a bit confusing here and there, which is exactly where I was. But I think I've made the most of it and I've figured out everything that's going on. So apologies in advance if I get anything wrong, but there's a lot. We're going to start here. So there are these two beings, unbeknownst to us, who are playing a literal game of galactic chess. They're pitting all the empires against each other. They are the sort of force, the puppet masters behind what's unfolding across the galaxy right now, and they are taking a lot of glee from it, as you can see in that final panel. Now, the best way to summarize what happened in issue 1 to get you up to date, if you've not already read it, is to read this little previously on part here. So I'm going to do that right now. The long-standing peace among the Galactic Council has broken after 5 council leaders were poisoned, including the murder of Hulk's son. The council gathered to investigate. It was revealed that the Kree Skrull Empire had been contracted to deliver the poison without knowing its true purpose. Before more information could be unearthed, an assassin struck. Jason, that's Star-Lord's father, of Spartax, was killed on the council chamber floor by a Wakandan sniper, causing the room to explode into chaos. Several leaders are currently missing, and war between the council member nations and Wakanda Prime has officially begun. And that's where we are, and we get straight into it. We really do. So on the Kree Skrull flagship, the Accuser stands, and they are deciding when to attack. When is the most opportune moment to attack? Now, the secondary intelligence is the voice you see coming from this canister of weird green goo with a face in it. Now, this is really interesting because, as far as I know, this is new. Now, the Kree were run, or are still run, by the Supreme Intelligence in Marvel Comics that I've read, which is like an AI. But it seems the secondary intelligence here is something new, and he gives the go-ahead. So, of course, the Wakandans, you have been judged. The Accuser stands, and they send the forces in, and it is chaos. This is the airspace above Wakanda Prime, the planet Wakanda. Now, on the Shi'ar flagship, they're a little bit more cautious. Now, they have scanned the area, and they've noticed that there's these nodes, right? These nodes are creating some kind of force field around the planet. It's impenetrable at this point. And they say that these nodes are running at like 110%. So it's really difficult to get through. Now, they're going to sit back, and they're going to wait for the right moment to strike. And they notice that our boys here, the Kree Skrulls, they are sending in 3 or 4 ships to sort of bombard that little piece of the shield to try and break through. And they think, right, this is the time. And that's what happens. They send in their super guardians, their Imperial super guardians, and they land heavy, and they start obliterating like Wakandans, and they incinerate some along the way. It's quite brutal. I really like it. But they are looking for Black Panther, and they have spotted a Black Panther in the mist, and they track him down to find that it's not a he, it's Shuri. It's the Black Panther's sister, and she's looking all vicious and defiant. She looks bloody amazing. I love it. Now, secretly on the vibranium moon of Wakanda Prime, okay, Black Panther and his side man M'Baku, all right, they're there, and they are looking at what's unfolding in secret. Now, they're saying, right, how much of the enemy force has amassed above our planet? And they're saying like 60%. He says, right, let's wait till the 70%, then we'll unleash a little surprise on them, right? We'll show them who's boss here. And that's what they do. Now, we jump back to the Spartoi, I think I pronounced that right, ship, the command vessel, where you hear a grieving Star-Lord, and he's not happy, of course, because his father has been murdered. Now, the Shi'ar have brought Shuri to them for interrogation. Now, he's questioning this because they've got a super guardian telepath on board their flagship, so they could quite easily do it. But maybe they've brought her here because, you know, his father was murdered, and he needs answers, and he needs answers fast. So she says, listen, this is not going to end good. This is going to end badly. He said, well, it's already ended bad. You know, your people have murdered my father, and we have evidence. And she's like, what evidence? What evidence? Now, again, we jump because this book It jumps left, right, and center all over the place. All right. But it's really, really good. It doesn't detract from the story. And it's really, really interesting. Anyway, the time has come for the Wakandans to strike. And they beam this huge weapon across the sort of space. And it incapacitates almost all of the ships that are there. So their weapon systems are down. They can't fly away. They've got basic communication between ships, but that's about it. They are sitting ducks. They literally are sitting ducks. And T'Challa says, right, let's send up forces from the planet, from below, and we'll strike from above and we'll just crush them. We'll absolutely crush them. So he's not taking any names. And it doesn't look like he's going to take any prisoners by the looks of it. So we jump back to Kylon, okay? And they are noticing that this is happening, that their ships are down. And the Magistrix, their leader, she's on this ship outside of the scope of this beam that was sent out to incapacitate the ships. And she's saying, right, we're coming to rescue you. But Gladiator, it's like, no, you need to survive. You need to survive this. You're our leader. You know, our world, our way of life isn't gonna end because you've died. So go, head for the Stargate, escape. So that's what they're trying to do. So they're heading to the Stargate. It's all getting very complicated. Now we jump again back to old, I guess the Reganian Man of War. Is this Star-Lord ship? I think it might be. And the Panthers are breaching. They are boarding the ship. Time to subdue the crew and kick some ass. But they are met with one smiley dude and one not very happy dude. And that's the Hulks. And they're ready to throw down. And it's really, really cool. They have a little fight in a minute. We'll get to that. And again, we jump back to Spatori Command. So maybe they are on a different ship. You see what I mean? There's so many ships, so many things going on. And Star-Lord and Nova are talking with Shuri, and they're looking at this evidence. They're investigating the bullet that was used to kill his father. And she's saying, right, okay, there are some compounds here which appear to be Wakandan, but this is a fake bullet. This is not a Wakandan vibranium bullet. Someone has gone to great expense to fake this to create what's happening now. So the mystery unravels. Now, we knew it wasn't the Wakandans, right? I don't think Jonathan Hickman would go down that road, and he certainly didn't. So there's someone else behind this. And who are they? It's all been a ruse. So we jump back to, I'm assuming, Bakau on the Black Panther ship. And this is where the story twists. It twists with a knife as some Kree suddenly appears because he's shapeshifted out and stabs him right through the guts, right in the side. And suddenly all these Skrulls appear. I said Skree, didn't I? I meant Skrulls. All these Skrulls just sort of demask. They transform back into their true selves. And you're thinking, oh dear. Oh dearie dear. This is all down to them. The Skrulls they're doing something. They're trying to take over everything. We jump back to the fight with Black Panther and the Hulks, which is good fun. And Black Panther manages to slice one of Hulk's arms, and I like this little panel that goes, I felt that, as if it was nothing. I love it. And he sends it flying into the wall. Now that fight rages on, and suddenly all these Skrulls start appearing everywhere, across every ship. And we find out that they've been embedded for a long time. They've infiltrated all the different ships, all the different races, and they've been planning this big, huge attack. And that's what it looks like. So the fight ensues. The Magistrix is trying to escape. Star-Lord is at knife's edge, and Shuri comes to his rescue. And they say, listen, like, we don't know what's going on. And the only way we could really figure out what's going on is if we could talk to the Supreme Intelligence. But there aren't any left in this, this corner of the galaxy. But Nova says, I know where there's one. And they say, right, well, we need to get to it. Because all the ships are incapacitated, they're stuck. But there is a ship, and that's the Milano 3 in the docking bay. So they race to the ship to try and escape and go get some answers. Now we jump back to the Magistrix, and she realizes that all these Skrulls have appeared and taking over the ship. And here's where it twists again. It twists again. So the Skrulls, they're there sort of being all badass. And one of the Skrulls says, you think the Skrulls are your problem? And one of the Skrulls turns around and says, what? And then says, we are the Shi'ar hobgoblins. So there looks like there's a coup inside of the coup. And this is it. And it turns out, I think I know this. I think it's Deken Naramani, right, who is the cousin of the Magistrix. So maybe what's happened is that there's two stories unfolding here. You've got the Skrulls who are trying to take over the galaxy, and within that, there's this I don't know, this force led by Deken to overthrow the Magistrix herself as well. So it's all kicking off. Anyway, they are heading to this Stargate, as is Star-Lord, Nova and Shuri. And they notice that some soldiers and beings are coming out of the other ship, right? And they are attaching things to the Stargate. They're blowing it up. That's what they're doing. They're realizing that, oh dear, people are trying to trap us in this area, and for what cause we don't know. I think they get through the Stargate. I'm not too sure because it says punch it, so I'm assuming they get through the Stargate just before it explodes, and the Magistrix is left floating in space. And that's when they all realize that this has been a huge trap to trap all of these people all in the same place at the same time. And then we go back to where this book began, to these two sort of anonymous individuals, and they are again gloating at the game they are playing with all the galactic heroes and racers across the galaxy. So there's so much going on in this book. The art is phenomenal. It's really, really good. The chaos is beautiful. There's honestly, I'm in love with these characters that I've never loved before. I really, really want to know what's going on. Can't wait to the tie-ins as well, especially She-Hulk book, because She-Hulk is on the Hulk planet. She is looking after it while the Hulk is out there trying to figure out who murdered his son. There's lots of other books coming out like Nova and everything else, so we'll see those soon. But this was great. Again, it jumps around all over the place. The tension's high. There's twists inside twists. I absolutely love it. I absolutely recommend it if you haven't read it and you're just watching the review. I mean, look at that space battle. So for me, Imperial #2 has been another hit from Hickman and Federico Vicentini, and I am all in, guys. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Please, please, please like the video if you like the video, and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel and make more of these silly videos. So read more comics, and we'll catch you in the next review.